welcome back to the First Time Home Buyer Show. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're part of our top fan gang, thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, we love to hear from you. Comment below, share, like, do what you need to do. Let us also know who would you like to see, what would you like to hear, and we shall deliver. Welcome back. As I said, this is the First Time Home Buyer Show, new and improved. We're chatting to driven, motivated, and optimistic individuals. And I'm so excited for you to see who we're starting the show off with tonight. But before we get there, we have a lineup for you all week this week. We have Zama's podcast every night at 7 p.m., where she talks about the technicalities of buying a home, etc., etc. And of course, if you're interested in farming, agriculture, join Mbali's podcast at 8 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. And this weekend, we leave you in the capable hands of Chad, also with a new and improved show, the Home Shoppers Show. Exactly what it is in the title, shopping for homes. Chad is going around, firstly in Gauteng, and touring homes and showing you the inside of absolutely amazing properties. That's this weekend. And exactly the way we ended off the year, we start the year with an amazing competition. We love giving away absolutely amazing prizes. And our first competition this year, we need you to take off your detective hat and try and search the riddle. Check out our Facebook page for the riddle and try and guess what it is and watch Zama's podcast at 7 p.m. and you could be the winner of a 5,000 Rand voucher this week. That's Zama's show. Check if you win that and check our Facebook page for more information for that competition. Without further ado, I am joined with literally the definition of the power of perseverance, from living in a shelter to being an absolutely amazing entrepreneur. Nicolas Manyike, I'd like to introduce you, and I have to read this because it's absolutely a mouthful. Nicolas Manyike, you are South Africa's top influential serial entrepreneur. You are a property investor. You are a CEO of Tail Media Group, as well as the WealthNet Property Group. You are the founder of Property Stokvel Investment Club. You were a self-made millionaire at the age of 23, and recently an author of The Guide to Unlocking Property Wealth. Welcome, Nicolas. Did I leave anything out?
No, everything. It's just overwhelming just to hear someone like yourself. I mean, what a way of introducing myself. Thank you so much to you and the team and everyone who's watching us. I mean, it's a lovely evening and I'm thankful we are still breathing. We are healthy in this, tough time. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Happy New Year. As much as it's overwhelming, it's also an absolutely amazing achievement. I mean, to hear your title that goes on and on and on, and I'm sure by the end of the year, your title would have extended. You've, like I said, dipped your fingers in everything. You've touched on everything. Now, Nicolas, my burning question since we started chatting is, how did you do it? How did you become a self-made millionaire at the age of 23?
Well, okay. So when I was young, what I can say is that the goal, it was to be millionaire before the age of 25. And I've done this because I once read a book by Warren Buffett, so the book basically talks about how to make $1,000, 1,000 ways to make $1,000. So it's a good book, but however, my journey is that I don't come from a well-off family or a poor family, just a middle-class family. But they never really believed in my journey as an entrepreneur or someone else. So it was not really a simple journey to say, look, the goal it was not really actually to say, look, I want to be a millionaire. The goal it was to become successful as soon as possible. Because when you learn while you're young, you make mistakes, you learn, and then you can start again and again. And when you keep on starting, you're no longer starting from nothing, but you start with experience. That's what made me to want to start at the early age. So obviously, looking at where I come from, my mother, she had a catering company, and she would wake us early in the morning, around 5 o'clock, just to help her whatever she's cooking, It doesn't matter whether you're female or male, you need to help up. You need to cook, you need to wash dishes, you need to do cake, you need to do everything, basically. And that moment, I didn't know that she was building this character. I just thought, she's just being, spiteful. I don't want to do this and all those things. But then, when I was in primary, I used to sell sweets, during that time of Dragon Ball Z thing from Simba. I used to sell sweets. I used to sell anything that I can get on my hands just to make extra cash, and that taught me a lot about business, basically. And I used to sell fat cooks. So my mother would bake fat cooks. I would go with them in school. And this went on during my high school. When I was in high school, I used to organize events. We used to do a lot of money. So I just thought, I'm just a guy who's well connected, who's just good at organizing events. Excuse me, sorry. So I didn't know that this will grow and it will be big. I'll be the businessman or an entrepreneur who I am today. But all the challenges that I faced, it was building who I am. And as I was managing, the artist, I'm doing events and, I'm selling whatever I can get. But the most important thing is that I would read any book I could get on my hands, because reading any book, it was going to improve my knowledge. It was going to improve understanding how to pronounce words. So I would read anything that I can come across, So that's me growing up, basically.
Exactly. And, being in the kitchen with your mom, you didn't realize that maybe now you can probably make your own fat cook and pass it down and have your kids also sell fat cook one of these days. It's basic entrepreneurship skills that we need to. You can bake
a cake or anything, not because I wanted to, because I was forced to know how to. But not only that, it also makes me a better gentleman, because I can do some dishes, some nice dishes.
Exactly.
For him.
It's not only the way to a man's heart, it's also the way to a woman's heart. We like cake. So
yes.
That's so true. And you were saying about reading books, and in one of the articles I read about you, you said that your mentor once said something about, if you want to be a billionaire, read books billionaires write. So almost it's like associating yourself around people who you want to be like and become.
Yes, definitely. Because the key to success, it's not based on planning, and the key to become anything you want in life is to learn habits that millionaires. What are the habits millionaires do? What are the habits of a billionaire? Because motivation comes and go. I can motivate. I once told this other mentee that I mentor, I said, look, I can give you the whole experience. I can try to mentor you. I can give you a blueprint. I can tell you do this and this, but there's something that I cannot give you, which is experience. So when you read books, it helps you to read about stories that they've been through, the challenges they faced, because everything, in most of the time, all I hear is that how good it is to be a hustler, to be an entrepreneur, the success stories, all these other things. And no one is willing to talk about the challenges we face, the anxiety, the stress, the sleepless nights. No one is talking about you sacrificing time for family, for friends, for the loved ones. So depression, all those things that comes with being an entrepreneur. So no one is talking about that. And when I got an invite from your show, I was so excited, because when you told me that, look, we're not going to ask you the normal, comfortable questions. We're going to go deep, because I was so excited to say, look, I'm willing to share my journey. I'm willing to share a lot of things that I went through, so that someone who wants to start business, they have a positive mindset, but on the other hand, also they prepare for all the challenges they're going to face along the way. So those are some of the things I can say that I will be sharing with everyone. Yes.
Exactly. And on that note of the challenges that come on the way, I'm sure there were obstacles and challenges that came in your way. I mean, not only on the road to becoming a millionaire at the age of 23, A self-made millionaire, sorry, so sorry. But also on the road to becoming an author. There are challenges and obstacles that come in our way. How did you handle that? And maybe if you can share some of these obstacles that came in your way and how you overcame those.
So some of the challenges is that when I finished my matric is that I went to Citibank College. In fact, I went to VUT, but it's that year where all universities were packed. It was full. So I went to UJ, it was packed. I went to Val, VUT, it was packed. Like, it was just too much. I ended up not finding space. So because I didn't want to go home and sit and do nothing, I ended up going to Citibank College. I wanted to do business management or anything that has to do with marketing, but it was full. So I ended up going to hospitality because of my mother was doing catering. I'm like, maybe I'll find love, passion in it. And I did it for like 3 months and I dropped out. But I didn't just drop out for the sake of dropping out. And it's not something that we should be proud to say, oh, I've dropped out, because I know a lot of people, no, I'm a dropped out. This, no. I dropped out because I was not passionate about it. Secondly, I was having financial issues. So meaning I was not financially supported enough. So it's hard to be in a university or college where you don't have financial support. You have needs, you need food, you need, to look good like other kids. So the pressure, it was too much. But lucky enough, in me dropping out, I remember one day I woke up and I went to, there's a shopping center, it's called Bedworth Park in Val. So I was staying in Bedworth Park and there's a shopping center there. So I was just going to buy bread in the morning. And as I was going to buy bread, I saw a queue of people wearing black and white. So I could tell that these are the people going in an interview because they were holding CVs as well, papers. So I could tell these people, they're going to an interview. I ran back to the house. I woke up my business partner now, and I'm like, hey, I saw people dressing in a black and white and they're holding CVs. Let's go and print our CVs. Let's go and join the queue. We want to get hired. And we went there. And when we got there, they were like, who are you guys? You're not part of our shortlisting, So they're like, you're not part of our shortlisting. And I'm like, yes, we understand that, but we're here to work. So I had a job. I'm not going without getting the work. This was in Pick and Pay in Bedworth Park. So they took our CVs immediately. We signed some forms, and immediately they said, okay, because we don't have something for you, you're going to work in a storeroom. That day I was extremely exhausted. So I was tired, like I was extremely exhausted. So the following day, we continued to work at Pick and Pay. And now, because I was working, that's when I dropped out because I was not passionate. So home, they thinking I'm studying, but I already started to work. So along the way, at Pick and Pay, the contract ended. And as the contract ended, we had to come up with a plan. So in that moment, that's when we were like, okay, I cannot go back home because they're thinking I'm studying. And I cannot back to my dad's house because he thinks I'm studying. And then my friend, he said, let's go to Joburg. We don't know anyone. We pack our things. So the money that we were being paid at Pick and Pay, we were saving some of it. It was little, but we managed to save a little bit. So we come to Joburg. The money that we have, we can't even pay rent. And we went in this church. They chased. So there was no one in the church. There was only security guy. Because, Joburg, it's full of, people coming to the city of hustlers. They chased us. The security chased us, said, no, you cannot sleep here. You need to come on a church service or whatever. We ended up going in a shelter, a kaya shelter, where hustlers are staying there. That moment, you'll pay only 8 rand to sleep. So you sleep with all your things, all your bags, because if you just put it there, they steal. Your things can be stolen just like that. So you have to make sure you are with your things. And those are some of the challenges I faced. And I noticed that we have a serious problem of accommodation. I started to fall in love with property. I started to understand how important it is to invest in property. Because whether you do good or bad, whether there's COVID, whether there's war, we all need a shelter at the end of the day. So from that moment, I knew that I had to do something. And every day we would wake up, I would do my CV, trying to market. I ended up going to this other small, it's a company where they train you how to become a call center agent. We went there, we did extremely well. We passed with, flying colors in the whole group. And the guy, we were taught about inbound and outbound call center. So we were trained and we were placed in different companies, and we would go to these companies, and I mean, it was bad. You have to come back and sleep in the same place in a kind of shelter. So one of the days, I hear people saying, no, around Gandhi Square, there was a company called Kelly. So there was Kelly and Quest. These were recruitment agencies that were recruiting for a lot of companies, like your insurance companies, your banks, and everything. So I hear these guys, they say, no, tomorrow we've been shortlisted. We're going there. So me having done the same thing in Val, I'm like,
I was about to say,
up tomorrow.
I was about to say, this has become habitual now. You just see a queue, you run.
I'm like, no, I'm going there. Did my CV. I had a suit, put up my small suit, going there. So as I enter there, these people, they were shortlisted. But the facilitator who has to check and to do background check, any criminal record, to check everything, the guy called Mpo. So Mpo, he couldn't make it to the office that day. So because he couldn't make it, before I knew that he couldn't make it, so I went there. They say, who are you? I'm saying, no, I'm part of these guys here. They say, you're not part of our list. You need to go home. This is the process if you want to apply. There I am. I go in a bathroom to, as I go to the bathroom, I find two the guys who are facilitating there. They are busy talking. No, there's a group of 15 people outside. This is the group of Mpo, and Mpo didn't make it. So we have to start from scratch and capture them and screen. And I'm like, good shot. Went there, I didn't say anything. I joined the group and I sat down with my CV.
Yeah. I mean, Nicholas, literally, you've overcome so many obstacles. It's literally the definition of driven. And like you said in the beginning of the show, this is what we want to talk about. We want to see that, or we want to see how it was possible for you. I mean, the power of perseverance from shelter living to entrepreneurship. And I think if I see a queue, with people in suits, black and white, I might also just go join the queue. It's like you saw these signs and you were like, no, let me go. This one is for me.
So I just, sat there, and then they started to do the whole thing. We wrote like a few screening, and we all passed, and everything it was good. And then that's how I was shortlisted. And then at that moment, APSA was hiring, and they needed people urgently. So I'm fresh from my high school. Everything is just good, and I'm being shortlisted now. So this happened after when we came back, and then as APSA is shortlisting me. So when I was in Valley, it was in 2012. So during that moment, I remember we left Val, we came to Joburg, and we packed up after living in a shelter. We went back home, and I faked my results, and my parents could tell something is wrong here. And then I hustled. It was towards, my friend has some cash that his parents gave him to go to school. So I remember he had like 30 to 50K, and then he went to withdraw that money, and then we went home. So when we went home, we started our first business, and then it failed. Now, in end of 2012, 2013, when I came back this side, I came back to Joburg to the shelter because I knew how things are being done. That's when I got the job from Kelly, and Kelly shortlisted me that I'm being hired. I'm gonna work for ABSA as ABSA Vehicle Assets and Finance Consultant. That was me getting an opportunity, and the challenges I faced. So I knew what I wanted. So because I used to manage artists and everything, while I was working for ABSA, we registered a business. That's when I started to do artist management in a professional way. And then I would go to a library to read a lot about public relation. So public relation, I've been practicing it, but I didn't know that it's called public relation. I just thought I'm a connected guy who's doing promotion, who's managing artists. So one day when I was reading at the library, I started to public relation. I'm like, but I've been doing this for quite some time. And because I've been practicing, I noticed that what they're teaching and what is happening in the real world, it's completely different. And this taught me that in our country, we have a lot of youth going in a university, not to learn to obtain knowledge, but they're going in a university to obtain a qualification. Not the knowledge, but a qualification. Now, I don't have a qualification, but I am practicing PR. I don't have qualification. And this is why I started to understand that knowledge is power. And I mean, the application of knowledge, it's power. Because I hear a lot of people saying that knowledge is power, knowledge is power. No, knowledge is not power if you're not applying it. Knowledge is power the moment you start practicing it, you start applying it. So I've been applying the knowledge, but I don't have the qualification. Hence, that's why we have a lot of youth, we have a lot of people, they will come and say, I have a qualification, but they can't even practice what they have learned. They don't know how to do the job. Hence, you see 5 years of experience. So with me already, I knew what is happening in the real world. And I was working at ABSA, and then I worked at ABSA. As the business was booming, I resigned at ABSA to fully focus on my entrepreneurship journey. So the business, it went, I was doing extremely well, and it went, everything.
And that must have been such a scary thing for you. You know, you're leaving a stable income to follow your dreams to something that just all of a sudden drops. Like, how do you deal with that?
So it's really hard, I won't say. So I thought, no, the business is starting to boom. I can leave my job and focus on this entrepreneurship journey. I'm gonna have a lot of money. And yes, I made a lot of money. I became a millionaire at that moment. But also there were a lot of challenges that I faced. I didn't know how to utilize the funds. I didn't have any financial literacy knowledge. So as a business person, it's very important to have financial literacy, to know what to budget. When you have money, don't spend it on foolish things. You need to reinvest back to the business. Excuse me. You need to reinvest in yourself by buying books, read books, find a mentor, find people who are doing similar things so that you align yourself with, you learn from them, you avoid the mistakes that you have made. So I made a lot of mistakes, and with all the mistakes, and also I ended up going my business, I was scammed, and I had to shut down the business and everything. Me saying, okay, I know how it feels like to be a millionaire, but I realized that being a millionaire or being successful, it's easy to achieve your goals and have that business idea keep running. But the hardest thing is to maintain the business. Maintaining is the hardest thing in business. So you can have a great idea, you can implement it, you can start it, you can run it. The hardest part now is to maintain, because when you maintain, it's no longer about you. You have employees to pay. You have, other companies that are providing services in your company that you need to pay. Any mistake, you're gonna lose everything, because as a business owner, you are taking risk. There is no guarantee of a salary. The last person to get paid in a company is the CEO, is the owner. The first person is to firstly pay your employees. Then you pay the services that other companies are rendering to you. Then you are the last person. After paying tax, after paying everyone, that's when you pay yourself. And in that moment, some other months, you don't even get paid anything. Because of that's when the passion will push you to continue to do what you are doing.
Because you get to that point where the business no longer, yes, it might have been your business idea, but the business is no longer just you. Exactly. It is the people who work for you as well. So you're right, they do become a priority. I just want to quickly jump to a question, Nicholas, because, and I'm sure we've all heard about, how you've come on this journey and how you've continued to persevere. I want to emphasize on persevere. We've got a question from Amohelang, right? And it links into one of the questions I had for you. I read an article where you once said, there's no freedom without financial freedom, without ownership of land, and without property. And it sort of links to generational wealth, which is a question from Amohelang. Thank you, Amo. Amo says, may Nicholas share his thoughts on the importance of generational wealth and how he plans to share it?
Okay. I mean, it's a good question. So when we build a business, when you start, you don't think that much. You just about that business, yourself, your family, and then it goes on. Obviously, now it's no longer about you, it's about your employees. But now you need to think about the future, ensuring the business. Like now we have a pandemic. If you have insurance, you can go and claim. But we don't learn about all those things are preparing for future. We don't train some of our family members to say, look, if should anything die, the business can run. I believe a business, a good business, it's a business where the business can run without you. That's when you can say you are really, really successful. If the business doesn't require you to be there at the office or to make things happen, you can consider you a successful businessman. Because any business that depends on you, if you sick or you die, that means the business dies. That's why we can't achieve generational wealth. As most of us in the Black community, we don't know how to create a business that will be able to continue without you. So once you create a business and you create systems in place and you hire the right team, because you can run that business, you can do well alone. But here comes the hardest part, is to hire the right team in place. And hiring a right team, it has nothing to do with the qualification, but it has to do with the attitude. It has to do with what are they bringing to the business.
And trustworthy as well.
And trust, because things will go up and down. They need to stick with you. So that's when the business, it's more likely to, if the business can run without you, then you have a business that's going to end up on JSE.
Yeah.
But generational wealth, it's about you understanding about that you need to, the money you have, once you have the money, you need to send it to go and collect other cousins and brothers. You need to send your money to go and collect the cousins, more money. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. So your money need to work for you. You need to stop working for money. Not other way. The money needs to start working for you. And if there's anything that you can do that is good at doing that, it's property. Property, it's broad. And when I say it's broad, there's retail, there's student accommodation, there's residential, there's storerooms. There's a lot that can be done. But if you know your market, you do your research that in this property, which sector I want to focus on. Why in all our millionaires and billionaires, most of their money they made it in property. In fact, a few days ago, Bill Gates now, he's the person who owns the largest land in the world. Bill Gates, he just bought huge land, like extremely huge. So it shows, you can check all the billionaires, their money, it's sitting in property. They have property portfolios. they're diversifying their portfolio, because property, it appreciates in value. So going to generational wealth, if the business dies, nothing you have. But once you have the money, as the business owner, you need to start opening a portfolio, diversify, start building a portfolio, buy shares in companies that are doing well, especially in property. You can do that by, there's a lot of apps. I'm not endorsing this, but I'll give an example. There's an app called Easy Equity. It's simple. You can open an account. You can invest as little from 50 Rand, even 100 Rand. You can start looking at companies that are performing well. You can buy shares from any company. You can hold. You can start to do your research. And besides buying other shares, you can start learning how to be a property agent or a property investor. If you have money, make a research, find the right people who will mentor you along the way. And then what you do is that you take that and then you channel it in your portfolio. You start buying student accommodation. You start buying land and you develop it. And you don't have to think big. When we say property, you don't have to think of something. You can start where you are. You can use what you have. You can start where you are. There's always opportunity. Someone wants to do a business. Someone wants a place to stay. Build proper units. You can build rooms. That's where you ask a mentor, someone who's doing it, to say, how can I start with the little that I have? They will give you options. You do your research and you start investing. I'm getting a lot of messages. A lot of people, they're saying they can't hear me. They don't hear the sound. So I'm not sure what maybe we're having a technical issue. So a lot of people think they can't hear me.
We'll deal with that. I'm sure the team's heard, so we'll quickly deal with that sound issue. But just before, just because of time, and on the note of property, I love that you brought up property and generational wealth and put that in the same breath. I want to stick with that, but I just want to share some more comments from YouTube. So Amohelang says, Nicholas is a risk taker at heart, and I think that is the key to entrepreneurship. And then we have someone commenting, Gerald Kluter says, knowledge is power when you apply it. Nicely said. So just some praise for you, Nicholas. Amo again, wow, what a revelation. Knowledge is not power until you apply it. How did you avoid giving up after all your failures, the scams, the mistakes, everything that came in your way? Did that not discourage you? And again, links into one of my questions. What do you do that keeps you motivated, that you just don't give up after all these failures, things that happen? What do you do?
The biggest teacher, the biggest teacher in the journey, use what you have, start, make mistakes, and then you start again, you keep learning. Because like I said, I can mentor you, I can give you a blueprint, I can show you what I did, but there's something I cannot give you, experience. So the best teacher is experience. Do not be afraid. Take mistakes. Back then, I'm a high risker. I'm one person, I take risk. But now I don't just take risk, but I take calculated risk. I do my research, I consult people. What do you think of this before I make a decision? And I hear what they have to say so that I can avoid the same mistakes that I've made. It helps a lot. What makes me not to give up is that I'm motivated by poverty. And I know a lot of people will be like, it doesn't make sense. How can you say that? Yes, I've said it. Poverty is my inspiration because poverty paved a way to my success. The people that I mentor, they look up to me. And that, my journey inspires a lot of people, and that inspires me to be better. And when I look at, I'm motivated by what other Black people, Black entrepreneurs are achieving. Your Dangote, your Petrus Mutsepe. It doesn't matter how they came up, but if they can do it, it's possible. It means we can do it. But over the world, my motivation is poverty. I'm allergic to poverty. I'm allergic to it. I'm addicted to success, and I have no room for any negativity or anything. because you need to have this within you. Because like I can motivate you now. You can listen to motivational videos. You can read books. If you don't know how to motivate yourself, no one can motivate you. So it has to start with you, this thing. This beast in you that wants to be out there, that wants to achieve, that wants to do. You're going to do a lot of mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. But now when you start, you're no longer starting from scratch. You are starting with experience. That's the difference.
I resonated that. Sorry, Nicolas, sorry to interject. I resonated that so much because in the week I was actually listening to a podcast where they teach you the so what exercise, right? So it goes about, so you're scared of losing your house, so what? So you're scared of living on the street, so what? So you're scared of being poor, so what? So it boils down to the biggest fear that we have. And if someone's truly experienced poverty, it's a place you don't want to go back. So It's literally, and I love what you said. It's your driving factor. It's your driving. You never want to go back there, because so you will always continue to achieve these goals, becoming a millionaire. And with a mindset like that, you definitely can achieve this. And I absolutely love how positive you are. I mean, even when I called you this morning, the first thing you said to me, you actually said it earlier, is the hardest part isn't to start. The hardest part is to maintain. And I think I'm going to call you every morning for my morning devotions, please. I want to, just before we close off and wrap up, your book, right? Your book is titled A Guide to Unlocking Property Wealth. And I want you to leave us with at least 3 important tips, or three lessons you learned about property wealth while writing this book.
So the funny part is that I've always wanted to write a book, but I didn't have time. So when the president announced a lockdown, I saw it as an opportunity. So immediately when the lockdown started, I started to write my book. Last year, I started to put it down in a paper, the sleepless nights, doing research, proofreading. And then before you can send it to anyone to proofread and edit, you need to make sure that it makes sense. So I can say the book, it contains 70% of my experience, and 30% of it's a research. It's a research. So the book, it teaches you the correct mindset, the soft skills, and the financial concept to enable new entrepreneurs while helping the current entrepreneurs to grow. The book, it shows you that anything is possible. I mean, I'm from average lower middle class family in Kuchen, Bushbuckridge. But I made it. Where I come from, there's no opportunities. So you need to always think out of the box. Once, to become an entrepreneur, it means identifying problems and coming with solutions. While you're solving those problems, you must find means to make money. So you are helping people to solve that problem, but also you're making money. So the book, it teaches a lot, because when I wanted to invest in properties, there's a lot of books that obviously people, they were recommending a lot of information out there that can mislead you. So I compiled, based on my experience and my research, everything in one book. So it covers from, the mindset. I can just give you a few, let's say, a few topics that the book covers. So it's just about motivation, property, my journey as an entrepreneurship, the mindset you need to have as an entrepreneur or as a person. I mean, it's a hustler's Bible, the book, actually. It covers a lot. And I want just to just share the topics, the books it has, that it covers, so at least you can understand what are the things to expect from the book. And by the way, we sold 3,000 copies. Currently, it's sold out. I mean, I self-published my book. I need to help others who want to write their book. To publish your book,
that's absolutely amazing, Nicolas. Well done. Self-made millionaire, self-made author. Absolutely amazing. If you can just quickly, just for time, maybe like 3 chapters what the book is about, because I see we're running out of a little bit of time here.
Okay. So I'll just share the chapters that we have. We have the mindset of wealth building. It's a lifestyle. It's all about the mindset. We have the benefits of investing in property and what are the risks. We have also the type of property investment that are available. Also the property Stokvel, it teaches you how important is location, property management, and questions that you need to ask yourself. And the most important thing, embracing failure and being able to start once you fail. Like I said, motivation comes and goes. It's like bathing. You always need it. You bath, tomorrow you need to bath. But there's one thing that I want to let everyone who's seeing this to understand. Instead of creating motivation or having the motivation, you need to create habits, because motivation comes and goes. We all have the days where I feel like I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I wanna just leave this. Why can't I be like other kids where I enjoy life and do what people at my age do, without being stressed about having to pay employees or having to worry about tomorrow my company? It's habit. Once you build habits, you will know that when I wake up, this is my habit. This is what I need to do. I need to wake up and run. I need to do this. I need to prepare my day a day before. Have goals, write it down. Today I want to achieve this. And beside planning, you need to execute, because procrastination is the enemy of success. So whatever you're planning, whatever you're putting down, you need to take action. And when you take that action, know you're going to fail. And know that it's okay to fail and keep on starting. So my words that I'm going to leave with everyone, we are in tough time. For those who didn't learn or who didn't try. So with me, when this COVID started, I've already started a couple of things and businesses, because I knew how important it is to have more than just one source of income. I mean, I have a couple of streams. If I put all of them together, it helps me to keep on going, to be able to grow and be a better person. So with one, you can't be rich. There is no way you can be rich. You can't be wealthy with one source of income. And whoever that is discouraging people who have unemployment is crazy. I hear a lot of motivational speakers, leave your 9 to 5. Guys, your 9 to 5, it's important as much as running a business. We can't all be employers. We can't be employed. Others need to employ others and create employment for others. So as much as you have a 9 to 5, respect it, do whatever you can to excel in it. But that little time you have when you knock off, put in extra 2 hours to that idea you have. Do your research, engage. I'm one person, I'm very open. Everything Nicolas Manyike. Engage, inbox me. I have this idea I want to do. What can I do to keep moving? Use what you have where you are. Start now. If you have an idea, start now. I mean, we don't have time. If I can tell you about other businesses that I started with my business partner, you will laugh. Like, you will say these guys are insane. Any day when the business idea comes, we start immediately. Start by creating that social media page. You do your research, you register the business, you kickstart. When you face challenges, inbox people how do you do it? I'm facing these challenges. How did you overcome it? How do you remain motivated? What do I need to do also to keep going? It's hard for everyone, but you gotta keep on going. Keep soldiering on. I know you are tired. I know you are emotionally exhausted, but your family needs you. Your dreams are valid. Your dreams need you in order to be successful. You need to keep on going. Don't give up. Always soldier on every day. And be positive, guys. I mean, be allergic to any negativity. That's one thing about me.
And I love what you said, because as much as we're doing it for our family, we also at the end of the day need to do it for us. So do it for you. Because like you said, any business idea you have, just start. It's the point, and we hear it every time. We hear different motivational speakers say it. We read about it. We see quotes on Instagram. Start now. And as simple as those words are, it's really just basic. That's what you have to do. You have to start now. And again, as I said, Nicolas, thank you. You're living proof of just persevering, being driven, taking risks, doing what you need to do, and achieving your goals. And I honestly hope you keep doing that. And like you said, people can message, ask for help. And I honestly hope you can too, give a helping hand to young entrepreneurs starting out who have watched this and would love to hear more and learn from you. I know that you'll be available to them. You're an absolutely wonderful person to chat to. I'll be giving you a call in the morning for my morning devotions to stay positive. Again, thank you to everyone who's joined us this evening. That was Nicolas Manyike. As he said, find him on all his social media platforms. Again, if you want to see anything, see anyone, hear about different topics, don't forget to comment below, like and share our pages. And we'll see you again, same time, same place next week at 7:45. Good night and stay safe.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Alan Footman. I'm a sports tour operator from Cape Town. My family and I have been living in the southern suburbs for 21 years. What we love about the neighborhood is it's very family orientated. Lots of things for the kids to do, especially here where we are next to the farm, where folk can walk the dog, go for runs and enjoy the fresh air. In the southern suburbs, we're lucky enough to have some of the top schools in the country, and on top of that we have the University of Cape Town, one of the most famous universities in the world. Newlands is a great suburb, all the sporting amenities, Newlands rugby ground, cricket ground, etc. Down the road at Claremont, lots of shopping centres for the kids and for the mothers to do their shopping. Fantastic pubs and restaurants around like Forries, Springbok Bar. Bishop's Court is full of beautiful upmarket homes. Kirstenbosch Gardens, National Botanical Gardens right next door. What attracted us to Constantia is the large open spaces. I've always wanted to be a farmer, and now I'm living next to Kruger Constantia Wine Estate, the oldest wine farm in the country, where you have fantastic wines, great restaurants, got the best of both worlds. My family and I have loved every moment of living in Constantia. We couldn't be happier, and this is our neighborhood.